Hey guys, and welcome to Airgun Hunters TV. Today I got a bit of a special review for you. Recently I got my hands on a very old rifle. It's about 20 years old. I believe they were made in production from around 1989 to around 1996, I believe. The company started off as the name known THEOBEN. Theo and Ben, the two producers of THEOBEN, made that name up by their names, and they made something called the HE gas ram, the high efficiency system, or it basically is just a little piston filled with nitrogen gas with a strut that pushes the piston forward instead of a spring, which is somewhat meant to give you some kind of half recoilless rifle. Does it really work? Not really. You do still get a lot of forward recoil with it, but I like my springers and I like the recoil, so either way it doesn't bother me. Now I'm going to show you exactly what model I've got, and this is something quite nice. Right here I have the THEOBEN FENMAN in .22 caliber. Fitted to the rifle is a Hawk Reflex 3 to 9x40 scope with an adjustable eye objective. The THEOBEN HE system is very sweet and very smooth to cock, although it is quite tough due to having a 7-inch Anschutz barrel with the THEOBEN silencer on the end. I think that's actually the Reflex silencer, is it? Vortex silencer, I think that is. And it's got the bolt-in system mounts, just like the Rapid 7. And the stock, you can't actually get these stocks anymore. These are now made out of walnut instead, which is a similar wood, but softer. This wood on here is known as Shedua, spelled with a H, not an S. And it's actually an endangered, protected wood now. You can no longer have that wood cut. It grows in the western end of Africa's forestry, and it's called the black hedgehog tree or something like that, and it's very, very endangered, and you couldn't get these if you wanted them now because of how protected those trees are. And hopefully over the years they're gonna repopulate. That'll take a long time. And it's a break barrel design, standard cocking, standard cocking system. It's got the breech there that you put the pellet in, which is rather nice, very similar to HW95 or an 80 or something like that if you're familiar with those rifles. You just close it up, and the safety on it is very nice. A bit ugly, admittedly. It's got an automatic safety catch that pops out when you cock the rifle. You push it in with your finger like that, and then you pull the trigger. So I'm just going to show you the stock now. Sorry about the lighting, guys. Really wish I could do something about that. It's got some kind of sort of invisible stippling on the pistol grip, which doesn't have any outlines. And along the stock it fattens out, and also it has that stippling effect up there. Now the silencers on these, when you get them pre-owned, they're usually silver, but mine's in pretty good condition, so I'm gonna put something over that to protect the blue in, as it's made of a different type of metal to steel. But as I said, this rifle is now protected, the stock is now protected, and this model of the gun was discontinued, and I think it was about 1996 they discontinued this rifle. I don't know why, but they made the Evolution then, which had the longer barrel and walnut stock or beech stock. They also done another version of the Fenman, which was the profile stock Fenman, sort of similar to a Skeletor stock, but a lot more wood to it than Skeletor stocks. Like, they had a wooden trigger guard there that didn't have any back into it, and some sort of hole here as well. Very nice stock, but I prefer the Sporter in my own personal choice. And it shoulders nicely, and the trigger is really crisp. The way the trigger is made is a bit of a pig's ear, but it's very, very predictable and very smooth to use. It's not as good as the record unit or the CD unit or the Quattro unit for that matter, but it does work and it does stop you pulling the trigger, and the actual trigger unit in itself is pretty reliable, which is the main thing, and it's got a 2-stage trigger, just so you know. So that's the THEOBEN FENMAN, guys. It's a really nice rifle. I hope they put this back into production with the original Anschutz barrel as well, the 7-inch Anschutz barrel. And the only thing I'd say they'd have to take off this is the schedule stock. Due to it being a hardwood, it's very well known to split and crack with the recoil when people perhaps dry fire the gun, or when they pump it up too much and the recoil gets too much, and then the stocks can split, and hardwood is very well known for that. So a walnut stock would be an improvement, although the schedule is very, very nice and it has a very beautiful grain. It's just a shame it's protected. One thing they could have done to stop the recoil so much of damage in the stock would be to sort of put like some kind of rubber film inside there. That would have been pretty good to absorb some of the shock, but they didn't, and a lot of these guns cracked and split, just like this one here. It has a very, very thin scratch down here. It's not so much a crack, but it is a scratch. I've actually had the stock off and I've looked, and there's no depth to it, and there's no actual depth to it at all, so it's just like a scratch. But they used to pump them up via that little button at the back there by pushing a Slim Jim hand pump in. You can buy them from Solway for about £80, and you would pump it say 5 times to fill the ram, and then you pump it so many times then, and you've got to keep chrono checking it to make sure it doesn't exceed 12 foot-pounds unless you want it on FAC. But yeah, guys, that's my little review on the THEOBEN FENMAN in .22 caliber, and hopefully I'm going to be taking this out and doing a shooting review of it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. And Happy New Year.